The house stood at the edge of town. It was a looming shadow against the setting sun. Locals called it the Whispering House. They said it was haunted. The old mansion was a sight that sent shivers down your spine. Its windows were like vacant eyes. They stared out at the world with a hollow gaze. The paint was peeling, the wood was rotting. The air around it felt heavy, it felt cold. Kids in Hollow Creek dared each other to go near it. No one had ever dared to go inside. Until now, this Halloween, a group of friends made a pact. They would face their fears. They would uncover the secrets of the Whispering House. They would do it together, or they would die trying. The story of the Whispering House was a tragedy. It was a tale whispered by the townsfolk. It was a warning. It was a history lesson best left undisturbed. The Sinclairs were a wealthy family. They built the grand mansion over a century ago. They filled it with beautiful things. They threw lavish parties. They seemed happy. But their happiness was short-lived. One stormy night, tragedy struck. Eliza Sinclair, the family's beloved daughter, vanished. She was never seen again. Some whispered of a jealous lover, others spoke of a family curse, but the truth remained a mystery. The Sinclairs abandoned the house. They left everything behind. They couldn't bear to stay in the place where their daughter had disappeared. The house stood empty. It was a monument to their grief. It was a breeding ground for whispers. The group of friends arrived at the house just as the moon was rising. There were 5 of them: Max, the tall, athletic one; Sarah, the smart, level-headed one; Chris, the class clown; Ashley, the popular one; and Ben, the quiet one. They stood at the edge of the property. They stared up at the house. The wind howled through the trees. It sounded like someone was crying.
Are you sure about this?
Ashley whispered, her voice trembling.
Don't be scared, Ash. It's just an old house.
Max said, though his voice wavered a bit too. He reached for the gate. It creaked open as if it hadn't been touched in decades. The friends exchanged nervous glances. They took a collective breath. Then they stepped onto the property. The front door groaned as they pushed it open. The smell hit them first, a musty, damp odor of decay. Cobwebs clung to everything. Dust covered the floor like a thick carpet.
This is creepy,
Chris muttered, shining his flashlight around. They moved through the house slowly. Each room was like a snapshot from the past. Furniture lay draped in white sheets. Portraits stared down from the walls. In the parlor, they found a music box. It was sitting on a dusty table. It was made of rosewood and inlaid with silver.
Don't touch it.
Ben warned, but Sarah was already drawn to it. She wound the key. A haunting melody filled the air. It was a sad, sweet tune that seemed to echo the sorrow of the house. Then they heard it. A whisper, faint and chilling, carried on the melody.
Help me!
The whisper sent shivers down their spines. It was so faint that they almost doubted they had heard it, but the look on their faces told them they had all heard it.
Did you hear that?
Ashley whispered, her eyes wide with fear.
Help me, it said help me.
They searched the parlor. They looked for any sign of the voice. They found nothing. The music box played on its melody, both beautiful and eerie.
Eliza.
Ben suddenly spoke, his voice hushed. They all turned to him.
Eliza Sinclair, she disappeared. Maybe it's her voice we're hearing.
Fear hung heavy in the air. They had stumbled upon something dark and mysterious. The Whispering House was living up to its name, and they were trapped inside. Driven by a mixture of fear and curiosity, they decided to search the house for any sign of Eliza Sinclair. They checked every room. They looked under furniture. They even dared to venture into the attic, where shadows danced and the wind moaned through cracks in the walls. It was in Eliza's old room that they found it, a loose floorboard near the vanity table. Prying it open, they discovered a small compartment hidden beneath. Inside, a leather-bound diary and a tarnished silver locket lay nestled in the dust.
Look at this.
Sarah carefully lifted the diary. Its pages were brittle and yellowed with age. Eliza's elegant handwriting filled the pages, telling a story of a life cut tragically short. As they read her words, a picture began to form in their minds. Eliza's diary spoke of a secret love, a forbidden romance, and a locket that held the key to their happiness. Section 7. The Ancient Oak and the Missing Locket. Eliza's diary ended abruptly, leaving behind a mystery that had puzzled many for years. The last entry spoke of a secret meeting with her lover at the stroke of midnight, under the cover of darkness. It detailed their plan to run away together, escaping the constraints of their world. And it spoke of an ancient oak tree deep in the forest, a place where they had carved their initials and vowed to meet if they were ever separated. This tree held their promises and dreams. The teenagers looked at each other, their faces pale in the dim light, a mix of fear and determination in their eyes. The locket mentioned in the diary was missing from the compartment, a crucial piece of the puzzle. They knew what they had to do. The decision was unanimous. They had to uncover the truth. They had to find the ancient oak, the very heart of Eliza's story. They had to return the locket, hoping it would reveal the secrets of the past. Leaving the Whispering House behind, they ventured into the forest, their hearts pounding with anticipation. With only the moon to guide them, they followed the overgrown path described in Eliza's diary, each step taking them closer to the unknown. The air grew colder as they went deeper into the woods, a chill that seemed to seep into their bones. The trees loomed over them, their branches like skeletal arms reaching out to grab them, casting eerie shadows on the ground. The forest was alive with sounds, the rustling of leaves, the snapping of twigs, the hooting of an owl. Every noise heightened their senses, making them more aware of the mystery that lay ahead. Section 8. The return to the Whispering House. After what felt like hours, they found it. The ancient oak tree, its branches gnarled and twisted like the limbs of an old man. The tree stood as a silent sentinel, guarding secrets long forgotten by the world. Carved into its trunk were two initials, S and J.W. Eliza Sinclair and her secret love. These initials, though weathered by time, still held the essence of a love story that had defied the ages. Standing before the tree, they felt a presence. It was as if the very air around them was charged with the emotions of the past. It wasn't menacing, but mournful, filled with a deep longing. The air was thick with the weight of unspoken words and unfinished stories.
Taking a deep breath, she stepped forward and placed the locket in the hollow of the oak. The locket, a relic from the past, seemed to fit perfectly, as if it had always belonged there. As soon as the locket touched the tree, a blue light emanated from within the hollow. The light was mesmerizing, casting an otherworldly glow that seemed to pulse with life. It surrounded the teenagers, bathing them in its ethereal glow. They felt a warmth, a connection to the past that was both comforting and profound. The forest around them fell silent. The air grew still. It was as if the entire world was holding its breath, waiting for what would happen next. Then, just as quickly as it had appeared, the light was gone. The forest returned to its natural state, but something had undeniably changed.
Turning back to face the Whispering House, they noticed a change. The house, once foreboding and dark, now seemed different. The shadows that had clung to the mansion seemed to have lifted. It was as if a veil had been removed, revealing a new, softer side of the house. The windows no longer seemed so vacant. They glowed with a gentle light, as if welcoming the visitors who had unlocked its secrets. It was as if the house itself had breathed a sigh of relief. The oppressive atmosphere had lifted, replaced by a sense of peace and closure. Section 9. Freeing Eliza. They returned to the Whispering House, drawn back by an unseen and mysterious force. As they entered the parlor, they saw her standing there. Standing by the window was Eliza Sinclair, her image shimmering like a heat wave. She was young and beautiful, just as she appeared in the portrait upstairs.
You found it! You found my locket!
Eliza, is it really you standing there?
Yes. For so long I've been trapped here, unable to find peace. But now, thanks to you, I can finally be free. I can finally be with my love.
As the first rays of dawn broke through the darkness, Eliza Sinclair faded away. She left behind a sense of peace and a profound silence that settled over the Whispering House. Section 10. The legend lives on. The teenagers left the Whispering House that morning, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration. They left forever changed by their experience, each step away from the house feeling like a step towards a new understanding of themselves. They had faced their fears head-on, confronting the unknown with a courage they never knew they possessed. They had solved a mystery that had baffled the town for generations, piecing together clues that led to the truth, and they had helped a restless spirit find peace, bringing closure to a story that had haunted the town for years. The legend of the Whispering House lived on in Hollow Creek, a tale passed down through the ages. But now it was a story whispered with a hint of sadness and a touch of hope, a reminder of the power of compassion. Eliza's spirit might have been freed, but her memory lingered in the hearts of those who knew her story. It served as a reminder that even in death, love could endure, transcending the boundaries of time and space, and sometimes even the most haunted of houses could find peace, transforming from a place of fear to a sanctuary of serenity. The Whispering House stood on the hill, no longer a symbol of tragedy, but a testament to the power of love and the enduring nature of the human spirit, a beacon of hope for all who saw it. And every Halloween, when the wind howled through the trees and the moon cast long shadows across the town, the legend would come alive once more. The people of Hollow Creek would gather around bonfires, sharing the tale of Eliza Sinclair and the brave teenagers who helped her find peace, keeping the legend alive for future generations.